Hi guys, so a while back I posted a video about how I used soup cans to create the ductwork for my diesel heater that's in my Skoolie. So it's gotten a lot of views, like 75,000 views. With those 75,000 views came a lot of comments. There was a lot of concern about there being plastic liners in the cans, and I mean all kinds of horrible things that are inside the cans. Well, I wanted to alleviate the worry. I wanted to show you the actual soup that I used to get those cans. In all actuality, it really wasn't soup. These are kind of a staple here on 309. Whole kernel corn, black beans, sliced potatoes, and they're all a great value brand. But let me show you inside the can. This is a can that had corn in it, but as you can see, there's no real liner in there. There is a gold or almost brass color liner in there, and that's the way all the cans were that I used. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's a plastic liner, and I'm still not concerned about what the lining is, at least for the cans that I used. I've had several of you reach out about the power source for the heater. Now I do have 1,000 watts of solar on the roof. I have 880 amp hours of lithium, which equates to 9.6 kilowatts. That's going to run that little heater for a long time. I've never had a problem. In the event that happens, I have an onboard generator with battery chargers to charge said lithium in the event of a big emergency. And seeing as we just went through a blizzard here, it's a good example. Never needed to charge. Because we all know if a diesel heater just shuts off and doesn't have a chance to cool itself, it can cause some real problems in that combustion chamber, rendering it useless. And what good is a useless diesel heater when there's a blizzard outside? Another question that came up quite often was, where does the diesel heater get its fuel? I did add a 60-gallon tank that's mounted between the frame rails on the rear of the bus. That being said, I did tap the rear tank for the diesel heater. It can have up to 60 gallons. As I posted on a video last week, this particular heater run about 18 hours on low, about 13 hours on high for 1 gallon of diesel. A lot of you asked where I mounted the diesel heater in Skoolie 309, and I'll show you right quick. Now on the floor of the bathroom here, here's where my diesel heater is. Recently I had a fuel issue. It wasn't getting any fuel for some reason. It turned out the plastic fuel line had melted. Basically melted itself closed. I ended up replacing all that with actual steel brake line, which another video right there. So I actually had to take a razor knife and cut all that away and clean it off, and it was still exceedingly sticky. And like I said, the second winter using this heater. So for all of you naysayers that have said this tape that I used isn't worth a crap and it's just going to fall apart after 10 days or something, 2 years in, it's still very sticky and holding everything together perfectly. I did have someone tell me that basically I was an idiot for using a flap wheel to get the bottom of the can off. There is no way that you're going to get a can opener to get that off. I've tried every way. After getting that, after reading that comment, there is no way to use a can opener to get that bottom off. It just doesn't work that way, y'all. But that being said, let me show you how they fit together so well. You can kind of see it right there. Look at that. They fit really perfectly. And with that little lip right there, and you put that aluminum tape on it, very nice tight fit there. Just clicks right into place. Okay, so I believe that's 5 things. So that being 5, there is one big question that many people were asking about. And that was at the end, I said, you got to have room for a blue filter. Well, now I get to show you the blue filter. And as a bonus, I'll show you how I maintain the blue filter. Well, standing in the kitchen, if you go right down here in the corner, the bottom left of the sink, you'll see this little hole that I showed you before. Let me see if I can pull this little puppy out. Now I've cleaned it several times. Yeah, you'll see a little puff of dust come off of it. There we go. All right, there is just dust and fur, because there's me and a border collie that live in here full time. It's made by 3M. It's like a universal filter media that you can, I think it comes in a 2x3 piece at Lowe's. Does a great job. You can imagine all that stuff getting pulled through the heater. That would greatly reduce the efficiency of the heater. It does an excellent job of getting all that crap out of it. Let me vacuum it off real quick. I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Now vacuum is not going to get 100% of the stuff out of it. That's the 3rd time I've cleaned it, so when I get back to the mountains in North Carolina, I'll be replacing this little guy. That right there is the intake to the diesel heater. This little guy here just pops right in there like so. Make sure it's nice and tight on the edges. Pretty much all there is to it. Have nice filtered air. I certainly appreciate you watching the videos. We'll see you again real soon. Bye.